Hi, I'm Bob McLeod, and I work on the Global Operations team in Orlando. I also serve as one of the stewardship coaches on the U.S. MBD stewardship team. And I've been asked this week to share a little bit about the strategies and benefits of paying off a mortgage early. For me, I have an accounting degree and I'm a numbers guy. I was really committed to paying off that mortgage as fast as possible. Not just a debt snowball, but I really wanted to have a debt avalanche. Our interest rate was over 7% at the time, and so the lifetime cost for every dollar that we borrowed, we were going to end up spending another $1.50 in interest over the life of the loan. So some of the strategies that we employed were these. Number one, we had a goal in the first place. So before we ever bought the home, we were already committed to paying it off. Number two, my wife Kathy was on board with me because paying off a home early and making extra principal payments requires sometimes a lot of sacrifice and discipline. And whether you're single or you're married, it requires long-term discipline. Some of the specific strategies that we used, being a numbers guy, I created a spreadsheet that listed every month of the loan and how much every dollar we would put in extra principal each month would save us over the life of the loan. So we kind of almost made a game of it in that sense. And so it was fun to see that amount we were saving growing. Now, it's not real money saved, it's just future interest we weren't going to pay. Other strategies we had is we made individual choices that would vary from person to person, but for us that included buying our home close to headquarters so that we wouldn't need a second car. Another thing that we did is regularly my wife would look at the budget and say, hey, we have a little extra this month. You can put this much toward the mortgage. So we'd call the bank and put that on. Also, when we reached 20% equity and we no longer had to pay PMI, we had the bank drop that, but then we kept the payment the same. And then a few years later, we were able to refinance at a much lower interest rate and lower the payment significantly, but we had the bank keep taking out the same amount. And so over time, we were able to put more and more on principal, and that really, really helped. And so in the end, we ended up saving about 75% of the interest we would have spent by paying it off earlier. So some of the benefits we've experienced besides that, the peace of mind that comes from having that house paid for and just not having that burden on us anymore. Also, we were able to then take those funds and direct them to other places. For example, increasing our 403B, which was another one of our financial goals, and also to save up for some significant house expenses, because when you own a home, things happen. So we needed to replace a roof, and we had some repairs that we needed to make and some other improvements that we were able to make because we were saving for them. But probably the most significant benefit we experienced that we had not anticipated was because we were able to save money that we had been putting towards the house. As a result, my family was able to join me sometimes on international trips that I took for my role. It's really hard for me as an accountant to connect my family with the ministry that I'm doing. And in fact, my wife Kathy joined staff because of what Crew was doing overseas and loves to be in the field and connecting with our staff. And so we were able to do that because we had saved those funds, because those kind of travel is not a reimbursable expense. It had to come about out of our savings. So all that to say that I really encourage you to try and pay off your mortgage early. The benefits are many.